Hey guys, what's going on today? I am joined by a three-time challenge veteran, guy you've also seen on Big Brother, Paulie Calafiore. Thanks so much for the time, Paulie. Last time we've seen you, man, on the show was War of the Worlds 2 with that lady right beside you there.
This
Cara
lovely
Maria.
lady right here. She's in and she's so expect Cara. She's been known whenever I do interviews or whenever I'm podcasting and everything. She likes to do the slow creep and then just slowly walk across. She does that every now and then. We never know what we're going to get from her. Could be a dance, could just be awkward faces. It's usually awkward faces, but here we are.
Yeah, we appreciate the cameo anyways. So I originally reached out to you to comment on a few comments that your co-star Jemmy Carroll made, some rumors that she shared with me in an interview last week. So we're going to get into that. But first, man, what I want to do is, in case somebody hasn't been following your socials, I mean, there's some big things going on in your life. I mean, we haven't seen you since World of Worlds 2, but you've been a busy guy, you and Cara both. So can you just give us a broad idea of what's been going on in Paulie's life?
Yeah, man. I mean, things have been crazy in a good way. I love it. We started a handful of online businesses, right after we didn't leave to go film Total Madness. So that's what we had started in October, and then the pandemic hit. And fortunate for us, these were kind of like pandemic proof in a way. So we were able to grow that very organically. It was a beautiful thing. And then as fate would have it, I got a call in might have been February or March from Lolo Jones, who was just on Double Agents. She's an Olympian. And she was like, hey, the men for the bobsled are having like a rebuilding year and they need athletes. You want me to put your name forward? And I was like, you know what? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, let me take a shot at this. So that's basically all I've been doing for, I guess it's over a year now. Yeah. So first I had to rehab my body for 3 months from that War of the Worlds 2 final. And then I went right into strength training, speed training, put on 50 pounds of muscle in less than a year. And here we are, final tryouts coming up for the Winter Olympics on the 30th and 31st.
Oh, so it's coming up, hey?
It's coming up.
So was bobsledding even ever on your radar until Lolo brought it up to you?
No, honestly, I had no idea how to get into bobsledding. So I would always watch it. So my favorite winter sports are obviously figure skating. I'm not afraid to admit it. I love it. It's my favorite winter sport to watch. But then right after that, guilty.
Respect.
All of it, the men's figure skating, the women's figure skating, the duet or double figure skating. I love it. But after that, it's bobsledding and skeleton. Those were always my favorites because I'm just like, it's kind of wild how fast those things are going. But other than that, I didn't know how you got into it. I just thought, there's a secret society of bobsled and skeleton athletes that exists somewhere in really cold places that just breed these humans that want to whip themselves against ice luges at 90 miles an hour. And then I guess I found out that, you got to kind of know somebody to kind of connect the pieces and everything. So I never in a million years would have expected bobsled, but I'm not going to turn down a challenge to try and achieve a dream of mine, which was to be an Olympian. I thought it was going to be in soccer, and unfortunately my professional career ended with an injury, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to try and represent my country, because that'd be freaking awesome.
Can you confirm if there is a secret society of bobsledders or not?
There's not a secret society of bobsledders. They actually all live in relatively warm places. Go figure, because I guess they have to compete in the cold. Most of them live in Southern California and South Carolina and Florida. You got a couple people from the Northeast and a couple people that live in the mountain areas where I'm from. But for the most part, everybody wants to be warm. No secret society. Maybe in Canada, I don't know.
Well, that's where I'm from Canada, actually. And I don't know much about bobsledding, but I've never really seen any sort of secret society, but it'd be secret. So why would I have seen it?
You got to check Calgary. You know what I mean?
Calgary,
that's where they live.
Now, so Paulie, let's get into the whole Jemmy stuff. When I spoke with Jemmy about a week ago, she had brought up reasons why you and Cara haven't been on the show. And when I say reasons, I mean they're rumors. And she made sure she prefaced it as rumors.
Yeah, of course.
Specifically what she said, Paulie, was that she claimed that you and Cara Maria had leaked information and that you, Paulie, had failed the psych test. Reasons why fans might not see you on the show. So I figured when I heard that, I was like, okay, I got to reach out to Paulie because we're going to write about this on our platform at heavy.com. So it's good to get Paulie's side of the whole thing as well. So Paulie, could you just kind of give us your thoughts on those rumors, I guess, that have been going around the challenge universe?
Honestly, it's a little sad that in the climate that we live in, where mental health is such an issue. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that struggle with mental health issues, and I've been very outspoken, on numerous occasions, in the sense of like, hey, you don't need to be afraid anymore to talk about these things. You know what I mean? Time to come out about it. But the rumor that I failed a psych evaluation, it's just been circulating a whole lot, and it didn't stem from her. It stems from other castmates. Here's the thing when it comes to me and Cara. We keep our lives very private, extremely private. Nobody really knows what's going on with us, right? And we do that for a reason because, when you open yourself up to, people in this world, anything that they can find out about you and your personal life, they're going to use against you. But in the opposite effect, when they know nothing about you, they just try and make assumptions, and they just throw anything out there and they hope it sticks. And in the way that social media, is more prevalent than ever, all it takes is for one thing to go out there and people to kind of jump on it and like go like there. But I'll clear the record right now. There was no failed psych evaluation. All right. There are situations that have happened, that people could make an assumption about. But once again, it's nothing that past castmates haven't done. It's nothing that past castmates haven't been involved in. So to jump to the psych evaluation thing, it's kind of a low blow. It's kind of weak in my opinion. And for all the people who do struggle with mental health out there to kind of joke around about it. I mean, on Double Agents, there was multiple people that checked out due to that. I'm actually one of the most sane people in there. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I literally go there just to mess with people's heads, and I think people made reference to this one video that I put on my story. There was a Papa Roach song on there, and I said, I'm coming for you little boys one by one, blah, 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 blah. Well, I come from athletics, okay? There's a lot of smack talk that goes on in the athletic world. If you watch UFC, if you do any of that stuff, there's tons of athletes that are always kind of going like this, always kind of like talking that smack, like, oh, I'm going to bash so-and-so's this. What people got to realize is I've done 3 seasons. Nobody's ever eliminated me from the game. When I go into that game, I control the game from start to finish, whether it's through winning, whether it's through politics, whether it's through mental, whatever I got to do. And when it comes to being locked in like that, I don't switch off from the game. You know what I mean? So when it comes to what's going on out there, and it comes to other castmates, I don't switch off. But for people to kind of take that and run with it, when there's been multiple castmates who have actually done damage to people mentally, emotionally, and physically on the show, it sounds to me like a lot of these castmates are just absolutely petrified of me returning to the game because, they've got their little narrative, they run with it. They've got all their friends in on the joke. Cara and I are like the outliers. We sit here, all we do is compete and we live our lives. We focus our lives. We have the people who we deal with and we have the people who we don't deal with. And, someone like Jemmy, she's always putting her nose in people's businesses. And, I think she's got her own relationship that she's been hiding for 10 months that she should probably worry about and focus on rather than putting her nose in what she thinks is going on in other people's business.
What do you mean relationship in the last 10 months?
Well, what these castmates don't realize is I'm not hated by the castmates. Like there's maybe like 4 or 5 people who dislike me, and it's for their own reasons, whether I intimidate them in the game, whether they feel as though I could be taking their job in the game, whatever it is, but Jemmy's maybe met me once for like 5 minutes. And it was in like New York, and she sat there and she's like, I love the mind games you play. You Big Brother people are going to be great on this show and all this stuff. and then she's going off and doing this. And a lot of castmates talk to me when they see her going off, so maybe she should keep some cards close to her chest because she doesn't know what information gets to me. The same way when I play the game, the reason why I'm able to outmaneuver and outmanipulate these people is because I'm very good at figuring out how channels of information come. And people just come and naturally give me information, So I keep a lot of things close to my chest when it comes to these cast members because I don't prefer to take low blows at people. I see no point in it. If I'm playing the game, yeah, I'm going to try and get in your head. I don't need to take low blows at you. But for someone like her, she's accused me of so many ridiculous things, and she doesn't even know me. And most of these castmates that chirp on, social media, they don't even know me. They've never even spent time with me. The only people who've spent time with me are people who have either played a game with me, which once again, I'm playing a game. I'm not there to be your friend. I'm not there to be, your bestie, right? But let's talk to people like Cam, like Kaylee, like Leroy, okay? Who are actually close to me and I involve myself with on a regular basis. I talk to them daily. You know what I mean? I keep my circle very, very small, right? And if you talk to anybody who's worked with me and weren't against me, well, they've got a lot of really great things to say about me. But if you weren't part of my alliance or you worked against me, it's just kind of like it's getting old, running and trying to spin these narratives when you could just sit there and be like, hey, the kid's pretty damn good at the game and he got me this season. I'm going to try and get him next season.
So let's address one more of the rumors, I guess, Paulie, and that's like the leaking of production information out into the challenge universe. I feel like I know what your answer will be, but I guess let's hear what you got to say about that.
Yeah, once again, when it comes to Cara and myself, like we just sit here and we chat shit the same way anybody else does. But as far as leaking information that goes on, when you look at the past castmates, how many people have come out and been like, this isn't how it went down. This is how it really went down. Cara and I didn't even freaking do that. All we sat there and said was, I didn't fail a psych evaluation. What really happened was this at the reunion. You know what I mean? The night before the reunion, this is what happened. Right. And then that's it. And then people took all this stuff and ran with it and everything. But if people are insecure about what goes down in the game or what has been going down since we've been off, that's on them. All right. So like if people are insecure about how well they've done in the game since we've been off, that's on you. All right. Cara and I know that, we've been off for a hot minute. People who are doing well don't usually do well when we're there. And that's just a fact. I'm allowed to have that opinion. She's allowed to have that opinion. But to say that we're leaking information on the show, like what? Because I remember when I was on Final Reckoning, I get off of filming War of the Worlds 1 and Final Reckoning is just finishing airing. And people are sitting there being like, oh, you and Natalie didn't really win an elimination. This challenger, and this challenger came out and said that there was a whole nother thing. Well, isn't that actually leaking information? You know what I mean? Isn't that actually doing things? So a lot of these castmates, in my opinion, they project, so like what they're actually doing, they try and project on other castmates. It's kind of like a classic PR move. Get out ahead of the story before anybody accuses me of doing what's going on. These people are very good at spinning the narratives on social media. Cara and I, we can't be bothered doing that. All we do is we show up, we compete, we get off, and we go back to our personal life. Everything that we've done and accomplished in the past year and a half, going on 2 years, it's stuff that we had been talking about nonstop in between filming shows. And we were like, man, if we ever take a break or, Paulie, once you get your first win, Cara, you get your third win, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to build it out for like a couple of years. And then we'll go back and, we'll try and win some more championships. And then we'll ride off into the sunset later on in life. Well, as fate would have it, we took a little break. So we were just like, let's get this stuff started and let's just go. And it's crazy to me that people are still trying to figure out what the deal is. Like I've been told that on Total Madness, the only thing that cast members talked about were Cara and I, and they were trashing us the entire time. Right. Same thing on Double Agents. I even heard that on this All-Stars past season, that all people could talk about is what's the deal with Paulie and Cara. And, they put together all their little like things. And it's like, how are we still being spoken about, right, in this capacity? You guys did all the things that they know what they did, right? And all the behind the scenes stuff and all the BS that they tried to pull and all the narratives that they tried to spin. So like, don't come here and pretend like you don't know what's going on. Like you had a hand in everything that is going on.
Now, talking about how cast members are still talking about you guys, even though you haven't been on the show for a few seasons. I mean, is there an optimistic way to look at that also? Like, there's, you just mentioned the UFC. One of the biggest stars in the UFC's history is Chael Sonnen, and he's known as the bad guy, the American gangster. And he's always been the biggest proponent of, I want to make people hate me or love me, but as long as they hate me or love me, I need them to care about me. So, you guys are obviously polarizing figures on this show now. Is this better though for you guys and your brand and everything that you are kind of still out in the universe, even though we haven't seen you for a few seasons?
Yeah, I mean, it's never a bad thing, to still be talked about. I mean, obviously you're doing something right if people are still talking about you. It's just, I wish that they would stop like with their, and I don't, the fans, like whatever it is, like, they're always going to go off the last thing. Like Cara and I still get messages from like, I just watched War of the Worlds 2. Like, how dare you guys do this? And I'm just like, those things are normal, but these challengers, you know what I mean? Like, and I've said this so many times, like when you're in it, like you kind of know. So like, I'm going to always give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Like if I see them, receiving hate online, I'm going to be like, man, like, hey, I've been there, done that. I usually reach out to them. I'm like, hey, are you okay? I know it could be a lot, I'm that person, so that's why for Cara and I, it gets frustrating when people are like, it's a failed psych evaluation. He's a danger to the cast. It's like, have you watched the same show where CT literally said he wants to rip off somebody's head and eat it? You know what I mean? Like, are we watching the same show where Darrell sent Brad to the hospital for almost popped his eye out of his eye socket? Like either the show is going to be considered the fifth sport, right? And these competitors are going to back that claim up by being badass savages, or just call it another reality competition show, fluffy. Okay. But don't go out here and because you don't like somebody, spin a narrative about them. But because you like somebody, you never mention anything that goes on with them. See, that's that double standard that I can't mess with. But hey, I'm not going to complain about being talked about. I mean, it gives me more of a reason for when we do come back to kind of be like, well, don't come to us and beg for forgiveness now. You made your bed, now you got to lay in it. We're here, we're back. Don't try and be all friendly to us because we know what you've been saying. We know what you've been talking about. We've had plenty of times where we could have came out and been like, you're a hypocrite on this situation, you're a hypocrite on this situation, but we don't. We hold our cards close. We see what narrative everybody wants to spin, and then we just continue to keep our cards close. And it takes way more patience and discipline to do that than to do what these people do, where it's blatantly obvious. They throw something out there, they want to get a reaction. You're not getting a reaction out of me. Like it's not happening anymore.
Now, just looking at, say, a fan's perspective of you on the show, Paulie, like, would it be fair to say that you've embraced some sort of a heel role on the show?
Yeah, I mean, I love that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I view it as like, when you play sports, you go to the opposing teams like field, you're not getting any love there. You could be Tom Brady, and you're not getting any love when you go and play an opposing team. It really doesn't matter. If Conor McGregor is in an arena where most of the people are not his fans, he ain't getting no love there. You know what I mean? So it's all subjective to what it is. So for me, I've got the people who love me, and they love me because of the authenticity that I bring. When it comes to being a heel on the show, I'm not going to sit there and deny what's going down there. I'm going to sit there and be like, yeah, you're damn right. I said that to this person. And here are my reasons why I said that, because I am trying to get in people's heads. I've embraced that, you know what I mean? And I feel like it should be appreciated, when you have somebody who embraces the villain role. But, I think those days are behind me in a certain sense. I'm still going to be competitive. I'm still going to, do whatever it takes to win. But, I don't really need to prove anything to any of these people when I go back there. I don't need to get in people's faces. I don't need to worry about making it to the end. I don't need to worry about winning. I've already established myself as one of the best new competitors. Cara has solidified herself as one of the greatest of all time, male and female, right? So we've got nothing to prove to these people, and whatever you see isn't always like a reality. And I've realized that. So I'm not going to cry over it. I'm going to embrace it. And like, I think what people don't realize is my online persona, while these past 3 shows have aired, once I see the edit going a certain way, I'm like, I'm just going to own this. So let me stoke some fires on Twitter. Let me stoke some fires on Instagram. Let me stoke some fires whenever I do an interview. I mean, I'd rather have, like you said, I'd rather have people feel something about me than feel nothing, and that's it. I feel like a lot of these cast members, they're inauthentic as of recent. They come up with their storylines before they go into the show. Their fights are fake, their hookups are fake, like all this stuff, and it's all kumbaya, and they're all just like, oh, I talked so much smack about you in my interview, but we're cool though. And it's like, oh my God, like you screwed me over, but like, we're still best friends. Like, keep that same energy. You know what I mean? When Cara and I would do these things to you, you guys would take it so personal. Keep that same energy, because we keep that same energy. We don't care who you are. If you wrong us or if you come after us in the game, we're coming for your throats. We make it very known. You take a shot at one of us, you're taking a shot at both of us. So these castmates, I don't think they understand that.
Now, I absolutely agree with you. I think there's a lot of power with embracing the heel role. And essentially my day job is covering MMA and the UFC. So I cover a lot of fighters who have embraced that heel role. And like you just mentioned, Conor McGregor, I mean, he is probably one of the best examples of embracing the heel role. I mean, he has a whole country behind him in Ireland that he does get a ton of love as well. But I mean, there's still a lot of haters out there. But yeah, he's the most successful MMA fighter of all time, one of the most famous sporting athletes right now, specifically because he, besides his fighting style, is embracing that role. So I think there's a lot of power there. I was kind of reflecting on challenge competitors and maybe someone who maybe could embrace that heel role a little more. And I wanted to get your idea on it. If the fellow Big Brother player Fessy, I mean, if you go online, you go onto the challenge, account, like social media accounts, Twitter, whatever. There's a lot of, hate directed toward Fessy from the fans. And I feel like if Fessy was someone that just said, hey, you know what, I'm going to totally embrace this heel role, I'm going to be the bad guy. Do you think that could be something that help Fessy with maybe the fans or with himself? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of an interesting thought.
Here's my theory on all of this, right? If you spend your time trying to convince people who are never going to like you, you're wasting your time, right? So that's why, like, I never really dive into, anything. Like, if somebody comes to my page and makes a negative comment, I'm just like, hey, well, fuck you. You probably don't satisfy your wife in bed. Like, I go for the jugular, like, and it's not, but I on my side, I'm like fucking around. Like, I'm joking around. I'm from, New York, New Jersey. Like, if somebody's like, hey, fuck you, you're kind of like, hey, fuck you too. You know what I mean? So, that's why I just kind of lean into it, because I'm like, if you really strip it away, right? So the challenge has been doing really great in terms of getting new eyes to it, right? The pandemic, when it was the only show on TV, really catapulted it. There was no sports on TV, it catapulted it to the top, right? So let's just say, for easy math, right, we're consistently getting 1 million viewers watching it. You're really going to be upset off of on social media, if you really truly look at the engagement that posts get and Twitter, posts get. The engagement is so minute compared to how many people are actually watching the show. That's not to say that the engagement's not good, but we're talking like less than 5%, on most posts. So if you're going to get upset at like a vocal 2 to 5% of people, you're not focusing on the bigger picture of so many people that love you. There's a lot of people that run into Cara and I whenever we go all these places. They don't even have social media, so they have no idea what we're doing. They only go based off of what they see on the show. But those people, they're not on social media. So why am I going to get upset over that? I think, my advice for Fessy would be like, bro, like, stop trying to make people like you. You've got your close circle. You've got your family. You've got your friends. Those are the people who know who you really are. You don't need to prove yourself to any of these people. at all, right? He's undefeated in eliminations in very impressive fashion, right? He's made it to 2 finals so far, right? What do you have to prove yourself to, right? Because a bunch of castmates go out there and be like, oh, well, he's too big, he's too that. Yeah, those are the weak castmates that don't want to go and train at the gym, that don't want to figure out a way to outwit you, and use your size and everything against you. All right. So like just embrace it. You're not going to be for everybody. I mean, look at that. What's his name? Trey Young on Atlanta.
Trey. Yeah, I think so.
Is it Trey Young? I'm
not sure.
I mean, I love the fact, like, I love the athletes when in the face of catching hatred and all that stuff, like they're just kind of like, they bow. It's kind of like he wins the game, at Madison Square Garden, he takes a bow. It's kind of like a subtle fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's how I look at it. Like you got to realize, like, these fans that watch, they have their favorites. And if you outlast their favorites or you're behind sending their favorites home, they're not going to want to root for you. So they're going to root against you. That's why usually the dominant players on these shows, like, they don't catch no love. Everybody wants to see the underdog, which goes into, my gripe with society of participation trophies and all of this stuff. Because in the UFC, there are no participation trophies. You go into the ring, if you get knocked out, you're knocked out. You know what I mean? You either have the belt or you don't have the belts, and that's it. First place is the only thing I care about. So it's like, even myself, I've made it to two finals. I've gotten second and third place. I finished both finals, even, on War of the Worlds 2, getting dehydrated, having my kidneys shut down and all this stuff. Still finished. Am I satisfied and happy with finishing in second and third place? Absolutely not. I want to win, and I want to win the most things. I mean, I have one of the highest win percentages in terms of dailies, and that's still not good enough because I want to break every record on the show. So if you're going on this show and you're just there for TV time and you just want to, play it safe and get the fans to like you, don't be on the show. Go there with purpose. I could care less whether people like me or whether they don't like me. I only see the bag at the end of the game. And if I don't get that bag, I failed. And I can own it. And I think most people think I care more than I do when they're like, haha, you lost. It's like, I'm more hard on myself than you are. You know what I mean?
Now, taking a look at, I guess, the challengers of old and new, Paulie, like, you're obviously a very confident guy and you have a lot of faith in your physical, mental, strategic abilities. Where would you rate yourself out of, like, all the male competitors? Where would you put yourself right now, kind of on the the spectrum of greatest to worst? Like, do you look at yourself right now as the greatest active male player right now?
Is it only active, or are we talking, like, if I were to look back and reflect on everything?
Let's do active, because I feel like that's more relevant to the conversation. Let's say active. Yeah.
I mean, active on the show, it's hard for me to, and I'm very realistic, right? So my downfall, haven't won a championship yet. I know the mistakes that I made on each individual show that caused it from slipping away. But I'm trying to think of other male challengers that are like a triple threat, right? Where it's like, you can show up. If you need to win dailies, you win dailies, right? If you need to rely on your social game and politicking and, manipulation, you can do that, right? If you get thrown into any kind of elimination, what is your ability to win? A physical one, a strategic one, a puzzle, a combination of the two. How are you with a partner? How are you on a team? How are you individually? Actively, nobody. It's extremely hard to get rid of me. And there's a lot that people don't see, right? So, like, let's say I don't win a daily, but it's an individual, elimination, or, my partner is good. When they show up and they just see sand and they see that it could be something physical, they're not going to throw me down there, right? They wait to throw me down there on an elimination like the one you saw on War of the Worlds 1, where I'm spinning on a freaking circle, shouting to my partner to figure out a puzzle, right? So they only really throw me down there on those types of eliminations. War of the Worlds 2, everybody had a chance to throw me down very early for multiple weeks in a row. And they allowed me that time to find where all the numbers are, all the outliers from the big group that was formed coming into the show, of all the people on the opposite side. It's like, hey, if you don't want me to go in there and do what I do, you better take shots at me early. But it's very hard to want to take a shot at somebody when you know that they have the ability to win any type of thing. I've proven I can win any type of daily. Throw it out there. Agility, speed, strength, puzzle, all this stuff. And I'm realistic as hell, right? I was 150 pounds War of the Worlds 2. I knew I wasn't going to do well. As soon as they were like, you have to carry for majority of it, I'm like, shit. I was like, this ain't going to end well. You know what I mean? I prepped the team and myself for a running only final with a little bit of swimming. If there was any carrying aspects, the entire team would get to kind of divvy up everything based on who could carry. But now at 200 pounds, still just as fast, still just as agile, still just as, when it comes to puzzles and all that stuff. You haven't even seen what kind of gameplay that I have. I've literally scratched the surface a little bit. You know what I mean? And from a big standpoint, you're telling me nobody wants to see what happens if I actually go down into a physical elimination with one of these boys? I'm squatting double their weight. I'm cleaning double their weight. You know what I mean? Like it's a dangerous situation. Nobody knows I got a wrestling background, a jiu-jitsu background, former professional soccer player. Like I'm not, somebody that's just coming off the streets like a Josh, a Devin, or a Kyle, and just kind of being like, well, I'm just here, and maybe I can get myself to there. And it's not to discredit those types of players, because we've seen people be successful making it to the end, and winning using that style. But I don't know. And you can't say that I'm boring when I'm there. So it's like, if I'm checking off all the boxes, who else is doing it? I want to be beaten in an elimination. You know what I mean? I got to wait for finals for people to beat me. You know what I mean? Is there somebody that's going to step up to the plate, have the balls to throw me down there, because you know that if I come back, I'm coming for your throat. You know what I mean?
So I know you're focused right now on the bobsledding Olympic goals. You have your trials coming up. Hopefully everything works out. You get on the team and you compete next winter. When you go back to the challenge, at this point you're going back with your new physical form. Hey, you've obviously put on, sounds like 50 pounds. And so obviously a lot of strength training there. Are you excited to go back to the challenge now, kind of more beefed up than you've been?
I mean, I'm excited from the physical aspect of things, but I'm even more excited from the mental aspect of things. The clarity that taking time off allows you to have, when you're in the thick of it and you are the main focus of challengers piling on, sometimes, the media piling on and all this stuff, whether you deserve it or not, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an angel. Okay. I'm not an angel. All right. And some of it is, stoked. I'll admit that I do poke the fire a little bit. But I'm excited from the mental aspect of things, because I love messing with people's heads when I go in there. And there's a large group of people, once again, going based off of all these narratives who think that, I'm banned, Cara's banned, we're done for good. We're not. The door's open. I'm training for the Olympics right now. Give me some, let me achieve a dream first. All right. And when I come back, I have all intentions. I want to go 4 in a row. All right. And I want to win one with Cara, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe all 4 with Cara. I want that, aspect. I want there to be no doubt that on the female side of things, she is the most dominant competitor, even though she's already kind of considered that. But I want there to be no doubt, right? Leave it there. Nobody will ever catch her. And I want to leave no doubt that I'm that guy that's coming in. And if there was going to be somebody like Kobe trying to chase Jordan's record, LeBron trying to chase Jordan's record, if there's somebody that's going to come in and try and chase the record, it's me. And I want to break all the records. I want to break the elimination records. I want to break the daily wins records. I want to break the final appearances record and the final wins record. And a lot of people are going to sit there and be like, you're crazy. You've never won and all this stuff. Well, you got to have the belief in yourself first to get there. And, I'm tired of viewers sitting there being like, we want to root for the people who suck. Let's make it fun. Okay. Let me talk my shit to these people and let's see if they could do it. All right. Cause I'm going this path. When I come back, walking into that house, I would love to see, to put a bow on what I just said, the looks on everybody's faces when they now know, oh my God, we talked so much shit about this person. We tried to kick him when he was down. We did all this stuff to make sure that he was never going to come back. And now he's back. What the hell are we going to do now? Like that. Anybody that says that they don't want to see that is not a fan of reality TV, is not a fan of entertainment, and has no right giving their opinion on sports, TV, or life in general. Like that's just my opinion on it. If you don't want to see all the things that I've been planning in my head of how I'm going to torture these people, both mentally, and I won't say physically because I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way and be like, he's going to torture them physically. But you know what I mean. If I get a pole wrestle, if I get a balls in, if I get a hall brawl, what I'm going to do to these humans physically is going to be some of the best showmanship you've ever seen in your life. I'm going to toy with them. I'm going to mess with them. I'm going to break them mentally, and then I'm going to beat them physically. And it will all be in the name of everybody's entertainment.
When you're visualizing, say, doing a pole wrestle, you're in the sand, who is this person opposite of you? Is there somebody that you think is like the guy that you want to beat to, to set yourself up to be one of the greatest or the greatest? Is there somebody that you think of that you'd like to face? Somebody physically like pole wrestle?
Like when I think about it, I'm sitting here and I'm like, who would that be? Because it's like, I want it to be somebody who is the top dog at that point in time. You know what I mean? Got a lot of love for Fessy and like how he handles what's going on. But if he's the top dog, I want him. You know what I mean? If somebody else is the top dog, like if Derek K comes back, he's got his reputation. If Derek K comes back, I want the top dog. I don't want to waste it. I see a lot of people, they try and give themselves credit, for beating certain people in elimination. Yes, would I love to tear apart some of the people who, tried to step on my head while I was drowning, so to speak? Yeah. But does it really give credibility to my name if I beat somebody like a Josh or a Devin? Yeah. Well, not to say I like Devin actually. And, I've come to good terms with Josh, but like those people, they're not respected as competitors. You know what I mean? Nelson is good in eliminations. Hunter is good in eliminations. Darrell is good in eliminations. If they ever bring Landon back, CT known for eliminations. Wes kind of fallen off in his later years, but that kind of stuff. But beating somebody like Johnny in an elimination, that's not an accomplishment. He's not good in eliminations. He's good in finals, right? Someone like, Kyle, do I envision going against him? Yeah, because he talked a lot of smack on War of the Worlds 1 after he begged me not to go down into an elimination because he was hurt. So having to see him give interviews after that elimination, after he's already been eliminated, it didn't sit well with me. So I'm like, you know what? I showed you mercy and you're going to turn around and you're going to talk like that. You know what I mean? So I envision him, every now and then if I'm when I'm doing my jujitsu classes and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm just excited because I want to see who's going to step to the plate. You know what I mean? Like the last thing I said on stage at the War of the Worlds 2 reunion, which didn't air, and this was before I had gotten taken off last minute, because I didn't fit into the theme anymore. Is what I was. Yeah, I was told that I don't fit into the storyline or the theme, even though I was, the main storyline and theme for 3 seasons in a row. The last thing I said on stage was, I know the next season is a single individual season. I said, all of you trying to paint this narrative of scared game, this and that. I said, you're all going to have to prove yourself. I said, and I'll make it easy on all of you. I said, I'm going to go into every elimination and one by one, just like I said in my stories with the Papa Roach on it that everybody took and ran all over the place with it. I said, one by one, I'm going to send you all home, and I'm going to embarrass you in my interviews after I send you home. And that's it. You know what I mean? So that's 100% my plan. I hope that I get to come back on an individual season because, I really want to push my limits and push the envelope and see if there's anybody that could beat me in an individual elimination.
I'm thinking about like a perfect elimination for you. I think there's a big storyline between you and Jordan, right? Like War of the Worlds 2, you guys, from what we had seen as viewers, like it was kind of, Paulie versus Jordan for a lot of that. I mean, you guys never faced off with each other till you got into the final. But for me, something like a Jordan versus a Paulie in the sand could be a lot of fun. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. I'm not going to give away too much, but I have wrestled against Jordan in the house. And I've wrestled against Turbo in the house, and I can say it would be fun if any of those three matchups were to happen. I think the viewers and everything, they never really got a closure. And I think that the, Jordan versus me situation could have been one of those, like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson sports figure situations. And certain rivalries that happen. I mean, I respect his gameplay, very similar in that sense. And I think the world didn't get to see a closure on that. But I mean, you could pick your lot of people that I have rivalries with because, I've purposely gone in there not wanting to make any friends. So it's like, take your pick. Do you want to see how the storyline of Jordan and I play out? Theo and I play out? I pretty much put to bed Kyle and myself. He's never made it further than me in a game. Josh, I can't even consider that a thing. Sent Ashley Kane home. Where's he been? He looks like a monster. Would love to see him. I know he would want to rip my head off, which excites me a little bit because I'm a little crazy like that. Hunter, not that I'm against Hunter, but I want to see some of these people come back, but take a pick. How many people did I throw into an elimination on War of the Worlds 2, that are upset with me, that would want to come and get a piece of me? There's some people that maybe I've worked with on War of the Worlds 1 and 2 who I kind of don't really like how they operate outside of the show. So when I go back, I may take some shots at them just for fun, just to see what happens, just to see how they respond to it and how they like it. So once again, the people who have watched the show, I don't think they realize that when it comes to me, I will have a different game plan and strategy for every single show. And unless you are somebody that I hold near and dear to my heart, like this little gorgeous angel over here, somebody like Cam, somebody like Kaylee, if you're not one of those people, and that's it, like anybody can get it. Realistically, anybody can get a shot. Because I may just do something for fun. I told Cara, I'm like, hey, for fun, just to see if you still got it, I may be up there and be like, I think Cara should go into the sand right now, and go, just because I'm like, Cara, I know you don't like this person, and I know they're not going to throw you into an elimination because they're too afraid of you, but they're down there right now, and I'm in power, and I want to see you rip this person's head off. Go do it right now. Let's go. That's right. Look at that. She has been lifting. Cara, show the butt. She's been squatting.
Wow.
Yeah. Woo! Get some, baby. Here's the thing, there's never been a power couple on the show. And a lot of people are like, I hate the dynamic. We're not like Zach and Jenna. Okay. We're not like, the former Jordan and Tori. Cam and Leroy, they're beasts, right? I'm all about power couple dominance, right? We're there. If you want one of us home early, send us home. Take the shots. If you don't take the shots, the longer you let us stay in the game, we're going to get you. We're going to get you. And if you're afraid of losing to us because of the smack we're going to talk in the interviews, you should be afraid, because we will talk that smack in the interviews if we beat you. Especially the people that we dislike, but it's all in good fun. You know, it's as most of the castmates of recent seasons say, it's all for TV, right? You know, everything they do, it's for TV, right? You know, there's no authenticity anymore with them. But let's make it entertaining. Let's make it fun and entertaining again.
Are you willing to, you're obviously willing to go back to a season without Cara, right? And vice versa, is Cara willing to go back to a season without you, Paulie? Or are you guys hoping to return together? Is that kind of the plan?
I don't know. I mean, for me, you know, she's my best friend. You know, she has been with me through so much. I've been with her for so much. If I had the opportunity to go back alone, I wouldn't do it. You know, we have had such a happy time in this time off that, and like what people don't realize is when we go there, like we shut it down. We're like, you know, we have code words and all this stuff. We're like, look, we are teammates. You know, we go in there, we're locked in. All right. So boom, boom, boom. Right. We get this shit done. You know, in the morning, we're lovey-dovey, we're couples. At night, we're lovey-dovey, we're couples. I said, but during the day, I said, we're fucking with people. We're in there. But I don't know. I mean, Cara, he wants to know, you know, what the deal is with if I would go back alone or if you would go back alone. Are you about to flex in the camera?
Pull up a chair, Cara.
Well,
Pull up a chair, Cara.
no, this is real quick. Can you hear me?
He can hear you.
Okay.
Microphone.
All I would say is, like, first of all, why? Right? If you want to see one of us alone on a season together, then eliminate one of us. You know, we make it to the end together every time because we're good at challenges, you know, politics. Sometimes luck is in our favor. I don't know.
Well, hold on. Don't you try and say you're good at politics.
I'm not good.
Okay.
No.
Eliminations.
Whatever. What I'm saying is, one way or another, we make it to the end together. So if you want to see one of us alone, fucking take a shot early. Take a shot at one of us. Try to get rid of us. Don't be, you know, if
We
like
want
I
it.
said, if you know, like try.
We
try
want
to
it.
send us home.
You know.
But aside from that, I will say, I would love to cheer Paulie on for a season. I personally would love to see him and Cody on a season together. Like, I would.
How about the
love to
trifecta?
see that.
All right, you got the
Trifecta
Big Brother
would be great.
goat, you got the challenge goat, and then you got the up and coming stud.
But
The
there's
Olympian.
also so many
The Olympian.
There's so many. I guess they're doing so many challenges and spinoffs now. There's no reason why you can't have one of us on every one of them.
Oh yeah, I mean with the
That's one
rumors
way of
of like
doing it,
all the
too.
shows that are filming. I mean apparently there's like rumors that there might be 3 different styles of shows being filmed. You know, from a producer standpoint and even from a fan standpoint, if you really want it split up, like you can still get what you want, you know, but for us, like, you know, we're crushing it in the business world, we're crushing it at life. You know, she might get mad at me for saying this. We're having fucking threesomes like every other fucking weekend. So it's like, who doesn't want to see us possibly fuck one of the hotter new girls on the show? When was the last time there was a threesome on the show? It's been about like 20 years.
Been a while, yeah.
And it was with Veronica. Well, at least it was when she was in her prime and everything.
You want
But
a party?
you want a party or do you want the same fucking people? You know, like at least we brought the noise when we're there, right? At least we're bringing the noise, you know? And yeah, I mean, or we could just keep doing it here in private. It's cool, you know. It's totally fine. It's totally fun. But I think it would be fun to have a threesome with somebody. They think they're in cool with our alliance, and then throw them into an elimination and be like, fuck, sorry. But I don't know. Like I think you know, I don't know. There needs to be some creativity, you know, from the politicking side and.
We might have a threesome, and then he sends me into elimination. Cara, that was, you know.
She may send me into an elimination afterwards. She may sit there and be like, "Hey, Paulie, you know, kind of want to spend more time with the girl. Get out of here." You know what I mean? I'm throwing you in there. Get out of here. Just want to spice things up a bit. You know, let's see what happens. You know, okay. You know what, Paulie, go down there. It's a headbanger. Do it. I want to do a headbanger, and I want to take my helmet off right before it happens and just throw it to the side and be like, it's on, you know, and waive my rights, obviously, to, you know, if I get
quickly
injured,
go
not help.
sign a few forms.
Just be like, guys, it's okay. I don't, you know, I'm not going to hold you guys liable. This is my decision to take this helmet off, but I want to do some damage real quick. And I want to see the person across from me be like, fuck, he just took his helmet off. It's a hall brawl. What is he planning on doing?
Well, I can't think of a better way to end the interview.
It was
with
fun, man. I don't know. I was fucking around.
Yeah,
right?
man.
You know, you got all these people sitting there being like all these things about us. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what we do in this private life. That is a lot of fun that we have whenever we go places and while we're in Montana. But anyway.
It sounds like it. Well, hey, Paulie, man, I really appreciate the time, man. Good luck, man, with the whole Olympic dream. I hope it all works out for you. That's really awesome stuff to see. And
I appreciate it.
Once it's all done, hopefully you conquer your dream of Olympics, and then we get you back on the challenge. Hopefully get Cara back on the challenge as well. I mean, obviously it's always a lot of fun to see you guys on there. You bring the drama, that's for sure. So you bring a lot. So, hey, man, once again, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Look, in a perfect world, I'll handle this business for the Winter Olympics, come back, catch some dubs on the challenge. And then I think, I would want to pick a sport where I could maybe break into the Summer Olympics in 2024. So who knows?